You're watching Musicians on the Record. Hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is huge, musicians on the record. Bring it on.
Hi, welcome to Musicians on the Record. I'm David Ward. You've heard the music, now hear their story. I am super excited to have on the show today. We are worldwide on Musicians on the Record, all the way to Australia today with drummer Andrew Hewitt. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Oh, thank you, David. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's really great to have you here. You are part of an amazing organization that I'd like to start with called Can-Do Musos.com that you and Dom Famularo and a bunch of other great folks have organized. Can we start with that? And then I want to get into your story, but tell us a little bit about Can-Do Musos.com, please.
Okay. We formed Can-Do Musos at Dom Famularo's studio in New York in March 2013. And there's a meeting held between Dom, David Segal, Mike Mignona, and myself. And during this meeting, we decided we wanted to make a difference. We wanted to help people with disabilities become noticed and get their music out there, show their talent. It's always talent before the disability. And so we registered the domain name on that day. And now our website features over 270 artists.
Wow.
From 30 countries.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we also have an online radio show and an online TV show as well. So
it's really...
We recently opened the NAMM show on Centre Stage. 9 musicians from 4 countries. Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, that must have been incredible. What did that feel like to be on the NAMM stage?
That was just really cool. Like it was, the crowd were really loving what we were doing, and we had 3 drum kits.
3 drum kits, wow!
And we had 5 drummers all up.
Wow!
So
you're like James Brown's band. Yeah.
The drum kit at the back sort of swapped drummers a bit, and Joe Hardy and myself, we both stayed on kits for obvious reasons. Sort of a bit hard to transfer back into a wheelchair, and
sure.
Yeah, but it was really good. And we ended up with a rented and drums and vocals only of We Were Rocking.
That's amazing.
And we had the crowd joining in, and it was so cool.
What was it that you played? What was the song or songs that you played?
We played Long Way to the Top of the AC/DC classic. We played Roadhouse Blues.
Oh, wow.
And we played an original by the Mendenhall Experiment, because most of the guys in that band were on stage with us, so
yeah.
We did one of their songs. And yeah, we finished off with a 15-minute version of We Were Rocky, just drummers bouncing off each other, and it was really cool.
That's awesome. It's really powerful with CanDoMusos.com I love the sentiment of the talent first, the challenge after. What even inspired you around that, and how did you even get connected with Dom Famularo around that?
I've known Dom since about 2006.
Okay.
And Dom set me up originally with the education team. So, and then like I had to go to the States for a seminar, a training seminar, and that was for Eddie Tittery's truck program in Santa Barbara in California.
Okay.
I was over there on an arts grant, and while I was there, I was meant to go to DOMS for lessons in New York. While I was at DOMS, we ended up having this meeting, so with the rest is history.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, amazing. So you've been connected with him a long time. Whose idea was it actually to start with Can-Do Musos?
Well, it was the four of us. We sort of was trying around all these ideas, what we could do, how we could make a difference. Talking about our own musical journeys and how we want to get more out of that. And yeah, like I never pictured myself being an international traveling musician.
Yeah. It's really amazing. Yeah. So let's talk about your musical journey then. I mean, obviously you're a drummer. When did you first fall in love with drums and music in general?
Well, my parents bought me a drum kit when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
$80, including cymbals for poor kids. Anyway, they bought me this kit, and like I just took to it. I didn't go and play sport because of my cerebral palsy. I couldn't play sport that much.
Yeah.
So I'd come home and spend time on the drum kit and drive my parents mad.
They loved it, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was getting into, back then I was getting into bands like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and
Okay. Yeah.
Peter Criss and Eric Carr were my idols back then.
Oh, great drummers from Kiss, right?
Yeah. And then I got into Rick Allen from Def Leppard. I was watching one of his videos about something, and hang on, that guy's only got one arm.
Right. Amazing. From his injury, right? Yeah.
And that inspired me to start using electronics on my own kit, which I'll show you what I do later on.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
I use a trigger on my kick drum.
Okay.
And a pad next to my snare drum. Don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, an electric pad, like a roll-in, something like that. Yeah.
That's also triggered as a kick, so I can play with my hand.
Oh, that's great. Excellent. Nice. Yes.
So when my foot gets tired,
yeah,
I can start playing kick and snare with the left hand.
I got to get that. My foot gets tired all the time. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
I started like playing in bands when I was 19 down in Tasmania. And I've like had a career in IT and done all this other stuff, and sort of music was always burning in the background.
Yeah.
And when the bottom fell out of the IT industry, I decided to start going more into my music. Started working on drumming workshops for people with disabilities.
Wow.
And teaching people with disabilities.
Amazing.
Give them the same chances that I've had over the years.
Oh, that's incredible, Andrew. So you teach as well. How many students would you guess you have?
I've probably got half a dozen at the moment.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. Incredible. Wow.
But they vary. It sort of depends on people with disabilities can be a little bit temperamental sometimes.
Okay. Can't we all, right? We all can. Yeah. So you teach. Were there teachers for you as well? I mean, obviously Don Famularo is a great teacher, but earlier on, were there any important inspirational teachers for you?
I've had quite a few well-known teachers, well-known drummers from around Australia.
Wow.
Tubby Wadsworth, he was in a few really well-known hard rock bands back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And he sort of taught me, and all of a sudden, he taught me sort of how to think outside the square to sort of make the drum kit work for me.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
And like when I teach myself, I don't teach from a book. I teach from the heart. I teach them how to play for the song.
Wow. That's great. So somebody comes to you for the first time. What's that first one or two things that you teach them on the kit?
Well, I do teach like the basics, like the 8 notes, the quarter notes, all that sort of the rudiments and the boring stuff.
Yeah, right.
But I do also use a lot of play along tracks and backing tracks because I think it helps someone understand how to play when they know how it goes into place.
Yeah.
And you can't get that from a book.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is a hands-on instrument, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about when you are teaching somebody, what do you think some of the top 2 or 3 things that a drummer or any musician needs to know?
Well, I just think you got to be able to play from what's inside. You got to be able to feel the song. And there's no right way or wrong way, as long as it's in time and it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. More so than just the technique or the, you got to be able to feel it. You got to make other people feel it.
Yeah. Like I've never considered myself as the best drummer in the world. I probably suck at technique. I find I simplify things because of problems with my hand, problems with my leg. I simplify things.
Yeah.
But make it work.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about that, Andrew? Obviously, you were born with cerebral palsy. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have had to overcome some bigger challenges than a lot of other folks who, geez, I'm tired. I don't want to practice. That's nothing compared to some of what you have gone through around this. What challenges are there for you, and how have you adapted and overcome those?
The biggest challenge I've had would be the lack of strength in my legs.
Yeah.
To really be able to push the kick drum, to really drive it. And over the years, like since the late 80s, I've been experimenting with triggers of different sorts, and it's still not perfect. Like it's sort of this day and age, and you've got to have a really, really good PA working for you.
Yes.
To have it sounding up there with everything else.
Right. Right.
My first trigger setup was I had a set of Tama textile pads.
Okay.
And I ripped the guts out of them and gaffer taped the trigger to the kick drum.
Wow.
And used the brain. And that worked for years.
That's amazing.
Now I'm using a combination of Roland and Pearl gear. I've got a Pearl red box on my kit there.
Yeah, I can see that. That looked like a pearl, right?
I've got a mesh head on the kick, so that the only sound that comes out of it is from the trigger.
Yeah.
Because with my CP, the lack of strength in my legs, there's no actual acoustic sound that comes out of it anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's
to have it work the way my kit works for me. I made it work for anybody else that it works for me. I'd love to get an SCP, one of those things with all the different sounds.
Yeah, the pad you're talking about.
Eventually.
Are you talking about like one of those Roland Octopads?
That sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
But yeah, they're bloody expensive.
Yeah, they're very expensive, right? Yeah. Well, maybe Roland will send you one of those. And are you endorsed by them? Because you got a lot of endorsements, which I'd love to hear about and how that even came about.
I was with Roland at one stage.
Okay.
But I was too much of a real drum player, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very lucky. The companies that have supported me, I'm linked up with Australian music suppliers here in Australia, who are Pearl, Dilton, Big Firth, and Remo.
Wow.
And since being linked with them, I've also become international endorser with all those companies as well.
That's really incredible.
And it's amazing. Like all these companies putting me on their website now, like I'm thinking I'm just a little drummer from Australia.
That's great. That's really great. How did all of that even start for you, those endorsements?
First was I was in Modern Drummer in when was it? April 2004.
Okay.
And I was on the move, the up and coming drummers section.
Wow. Yeah.
And basically, what I thought was, how do I kickstart my career? And I thought, I seem to borrow off the Modern Drummer. They probably won't even read it or.
Yeah.
So I sent an email off, and sure enough, I get an email, and they say, "I want to print you in the next issue." I'm like, I nearly fell out of my chair.
Wow, that's incredible.
So I ended up, I got a local deal with one of the drum shops here, and I was playing DW drums at the time. And then the rest of them gradually came on because Dick first came on when I met Tom. And then Dilton followed because it was the same company here that distributed. Then, like more recently, I've become an international drum circle facilitator for Remo.
Is that right?
And also on their website as well. So far, I'm on Dilton's website, I'm on Remo's website, and I did a photo shoot for Big Firth, and I'm on their website as well.
That's amazing. It's incredible. Yeah. Who else's website would you like to be on? Because we'll just put it out there right now.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the support I'm getting at the moment. Like, and like I've been playing Pearl for a few years now, and I think that it's an incredible drum.
Tell me
my
what
main kit here is a reference.
Okay.
That's a reference series.
Yeah.
That's a EX export, and my big kit here. Hang on, I'll just back out of the way. It's a reference series, and yeah, I played Dilton cymbals. I have done since I was 15, and I just absolutely love Dilton. I have done for one of my rod actually that I'm using on this kit is the original rod that I had when I was 15. It's a 1977 made in Canada.
Wow, amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's an A-series medium ride with the Dilton Hollow label, and it's got a made in Canada. It was made at the Sabian factory before Sabian.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful kit that you have, and I'm just trying to look at my notes here, referencing. We were talking earlier, and you just went international in Australia as well, right? You were on ABC News.
Yeah, that was in Australia. I was for International Day for People with a Disability last year.
Amazing.
And they wanted to do an uplifting story on someone with a disability, and they saw something I posted on Facebook, and they said, we want to come and do an interview.
Yeah.
And David, the guy that was in that video as well, he thought they were Can-Do Muso. So it worked really well.
Yeah, that's really great.
And it went out. It was weird seeing myself on TV because every time I go at the lounge room, it would be on the hour, every hour during the news broadcast.
Yeah. Kind of surreal, I imagine, right?
Oh, it is. And they came right in my little studio here, and I did like a few hours of filming, and
wow.
So here for about 5 hours for a 2-minute interview.
Right. Yeah. That's how it goes. Right. And they edit it all down. Yeah. Yeah. And you also have the Can-Do Musos TV and radio shows.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about those?
Okay. TV show I produce here from my little studio. It's all online by Vimeo. Vimeo.com/Can-Do Musos. And the radio show is weekly. And that goes to air by Drum Talk Radio here in Australia. And it also gets podcasted every Thursday.
Okay.
Once the show's gone to air, I then podcast it the next day. So, yeah, that's basically the idea was I wanted to get people's music out there all over the world. And so, it's amazing that I can produce an online TV show here and have it watched in Scotland.
Right. That's awesome. And are you talking with other drummers or other musicians in general? Who's been on the show that you've been excited about?
I haven't really done a lot of interviews that far because, like you said, with Scott, I've had a few glitches.
Sure. Yeah.
I've interviewed a few people, a few Can-Do Musos for radio. Because that's the thing, when the glitch happens in Skype, I can then go and take the audio and use it for radio.
Yes.
But yeah, it's mostly, I only interview people from Can-Do Musos. That's all I play.
It's amazing.
It's basically getting their music out there. And helping other people be heard. Yeah.
You know, there's some amazing music that's going on with CanDoMusos.com, and even with the Mendenhall experiment, those guys that I met at the NAMM show along with you, pretty amazing. Who have you been impressed by and went, wow, I got to get them on the show, or stuff like that?
I had a jam last year when I was in LA. I had a jam with the guys from the Mendenhall experiment.
Yeah.
We booked a studio in Hollywood.
Really?
And we had a jam, and it was just really incredible.
That's awesome.
And then when we did it again this year, it was different because there was so many other musicians.
Yeah.
But like I got up to the plane this time on the 18th of January, 14 hours from Sydney. We arrived before we left Sydney. Right, we arrived in LA before we left Sydney.
Okay.
And then I had to go to Anaheim to a rehearsal studio for a few hours.
Wow.
Jet lag and all.
I would think so, right? Yeah, that's a long trip.
But what we came out with that next day was just absolutely magic.
Amazing. Now, did you record what you did in the studio?
There is a little bit of a video, so I'll show you that. Yeah.
Yeah, would love to see that.
And yeah, there's a bit of footage from our performance.
Okay.
But yeah, we went to the studio in Anaheim, and I had a bit of. We had 2 drum kits in the little studio room.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know whether we were sort of what the studio was expecting.
Yeah,
we had fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast. I'm was half expecting you said you cut an album and it's coming out. That'd be great.
Nah, but something's been suggested, like to internationally, like I'd love to do some international collaboration with someone.
That'd be great.
Do drum tracks here, send them off to a bass player, send them off to a guitarist.
Right.
And put something together.
Sure.
So that's what my goals are for the future. Like I'd like to start recording and doing some collaborations with different people.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a lot of fun. Are you familiar with bandhub.com, Andrew?
Yeah, I have seen that. That's
okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, the technology, it's pretty wild, right? So,
yeah.
You know, you mentioned...
It's amazing that I could sit here and be talking to you and be your
I know, right?
on the wall.
Exactly, yeah.
And like I'm from the future.
Right. Yeah, you're tomorrow. I'm talking to you in your tomorrow, which is very cool. You know, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you, actually, Andrew. You mentioned some of the things you'd like to do with recording. What are some other goals that you have, either for your own playing and or for Can-Do Musos as well? Where would you like to see that
go? I'd like to think Can-Do Musos get to a point where we can do events in different places other than just doing that.
Yeah.
I feel we should be starting to put our presence out somewhere, like expand a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're working on ways to do that at the moment. So hopefully that won't be too far down the track.
Yeah.
Personally myself, I want to do some more international gigs.
Okay.
I have a possible opportunity of going to Berlin later in the year.
Wow.
It's not confirmed yet, so okay. I don't know whether it's going to happen, but it'll be nice if it does.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
And I'm trying to find another band around here at the moment. I want to get out and do the cover scene again.
Yeah.
And sort of, I find a gig for me is different to a lot of other drummers. For me, being able to do a 4-hour gig or 3.5-hour gig or whatever the cover bands do, it's a fitness thing. It keeps my body going. It keeps everything moving.
Yeah.
And that's why I love doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very inspirational with that. So a cover band is a goal. You'd like to do that. What would you play? What's your favorite music to play? I saw you playing some Beatles.
Most of the bands that I've been playing in have all been classic rock.
Classic rock, yeah. All right. Great.
Like the Guns N' Roses, Poison.
Yeah.
Even stuff like Bad Company and Free.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every time I played all right now.
Right. But all the fun stuff, right? All the fun classic stuff. Yeah.
And the other day, Jen came into the studio and she just got a camera out. And I didn't realize she was filming, but I was playing along to a Beatles song.
Yeah.
And like, I love the Beatles. Ringo is probably one of the most underrated drummers out there.
Yes, absolutely. Great drummer, right? And so many people that I've talked to, you know, I'd love to hear why for you started, but so many people have told me they started the drums when they saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan's show. What was that spark for you of what,
For me, it was the first time I ever heard AC/DC's Highway to Hell.
Oh, wow. There you go.
That solid groove in that song.
Yes.
Phil Rudd was it for me. And then like people like Bonham and Ian Pace and like I'm a real old school classic drummer.
Me too. I'm right there with you. All of those guys are incredible, right? Yeah.
And like a lot of these guys, a lot of the new up and coming drummers are the same. They're all influenced by these early plays.
Exactly. And those guys, Bonham and Pace, and they were all influenced by the other generation before them too. Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, all of those guys, right?
Yeah. And like I also loved Mitch Mitchell.
Oh,
Jimi Hendrix.
He was amazing, wasn't he? Yeah. He was amazing.
So like I've played some bands where we played like Purple Haze and Foxy and all that.
Yeah, fun. That's great. Excellent. Well, we'll have to jam then. That sounds great because it sounds like we have the same musical taste.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
In closing, for you, whether someone with a challenge or not, tell me a little bit about what advice would you have for drummers or other musicians who are looking. I mean, you're pretty successful with music, with drumming. You've got endorsements, you're playing, you're teaching, you're making a living doing that. So how does somebody else who wants to get there too?
Well, just do your best and keep pushing, and don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something. I'm living proof. I have a wheelchair under my bum, but I'm still out there doing it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely. Andrew Hewitt, thank you so much for being on Musicians on the Record. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.